This is a key rivalry in the SEC, a classic SEC East matchup. Georgia, Tennessee, like you said, college game day is going there in Athens, Georgia, where the games be played. The over-under is 48.5. The spread's Georgia's favored by 9 for the spread. What are your initial thoughts for this early look at the game?
Yeah, this is a rivalry of sorts. Georgia won the last 7, 12 of the last 15. So a rivalry in a way, but Georgia's definitely the favored team here and the one that usually gets it their way. They get the benefit of playing at home. Georgia's schedule, and Kirby Smart's brought it up. I've seen Georgia fans everywhere talking about it. SEC must hate them for what they've done with their road schedule, making them play at Alabama, at Texas, at Ole Miss. Like finally they get one at home here to sweeten the resume and keep them in the top 12 if they can pull this one out. It's definitely going to be better for them playing this one at home.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one of the major deciders in how this game goes with Georgia playing at home. But the home advantage is one of the only advantages some could say for Georgia if we're looking at the tail of the tape and the stats for Tennessee and what they bring. We talked about it kind of before we started recording here. Really, for Tennessee, the story's been the defense. This defense right now has held every team to under 20 points this season. On the offensive side, Georgia's going to have a really tough test slowing down Dylan Sampson. He's rushed for over 112 yards in the last 5 games, with 112 yards being his lowest performance. And it's a tough test for this Georgia rushing defense, who is pretty impressive. But when we look at what they're going to have to do to beat Tennessee, that's going to be a huge piece.
Yeah. And I think for this one, Tennessee's offense has been a little bit more one-dimensional, and it could bode well for Georgia that they don't have to play a complete defensive game to win this. Like it is stopping Dylan Sampson, but when Tennessee lost to Arkansas, they ran well in that game. Like Dylan Sampson still had a good game, and they lost, only scoring 14 points. So if you're Georgia, you might have a little bit of an opportunity to not let him run, but if he runs fine, as long as you're shutting down the passing attack, you could slow down some drives. So I think that's the focus for them. If Nico comes into this game healthy, he's expected to play. Left the game last week with an upper body injury, so we'll see where what happens. But assuming he plays and they can shut him down, that I think is the key for Georgia defensively. And then I think for Georgia, if they could improve on the running game, or really improve in the passing game, like the offense right now is pretty stagnant for Georgia. On that flip side of the ball, where I don't want to put it all on Carson Beck because we've given him enough. We've talked about him enough over the past few episodes in the past few weeks, and I've seen it a lot online, like a lot of criticism for him. But watching that last game, I wouldn't say it was all his fault. They're asking a lot of him. They're throwing the ball about 61% of the time, a little over that. And the O-line play was pretty poor. The running game didn't really get going at all against Ole Miss. So in here, you have to wonder if Georgia brings something different to the table with him, does some adjustments to the O-line. I don't think that Tennessee will be putting as much pressure as Ole Miss did. I know Tennessee's defense has done that in the past, but not to Ole Miss's caliber. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see. And you talked about putting a lot of pressure on Carson Beck. This rushing attack for Georgia has been led by, Trevor Etienne, as well as Branson Robinson and Nate Frazier. Nate Frazier has about 75 carries in the season, and Etienne leads the team about 92 carries. And so if that tandem can do more in this game, that's going to be huge for them controlling time of possession against this tough Tennessee defense.
Yeah, it will be. And it'll be interesting to see if they can get it going. I think that they will be able to. I think that what they're going to try to do in this game, you're at home. I think that as a home team, Georgia is built to hang on to a lead.
Absolutely. And I agree with you there, only because that's not what Tennessee has shown us that much this season when it comes to the offense driving down and kind of having that game-winning touchdown. I feel like you, Georgia's offensive home field advantage plays a role here in their success in this game. I think this game is very similar to the Tennessee-Alabama scoring perspective, the 24-17, but I have Georgia winning this one 24-17. The under is the number for me here. And then, ultimately that Georgia does not cover.
Okay. I like Georgia covering here. I got them 27-17. I think that Dylan Sampson still has a good game, like I mentioned earlier, but it just won't be enough. I think that there's going to be some adjustments to Beck this week. I know I've seen fans calling for Rashada or Gunnar Stockton. I don't think that anyone knows better than what the Georgia's coaching staff is doing. And I wouldn't want to be a team playing Kirby Smart coming off of a loss. he's a great coach coming off of a loss. I think that they'll be snapped back to a better performing team than what we saw from them last week.
Definitely. I 100% agree with you. I think with Georgia's season being on the line, I have a hard time seeing them losing this game. These are the games that they typically win. And so we'll see. It'll definitely be a good one there.